Hello, I'm Carly, and this is my review of Wayward Terran Frontier's Zero Falls, a 2D space simulator developed by a small 3-man indie team, and it's currently being sold on Steam for 28 euros or your regional equivalent. I personally got the code for free from somebody else, so take that for what you want. I didn't pay for it, so it is an important mention to make. And what you're looking at right now is, I think, the simple conclusion of this game. And I like to, because I ramble a lot, I think I'll put you my basic short conclusion here at the start. This is a game that is the clear example of being as wide as an ocean, but as shallow as a puddle. What you're looking at here is the map that you have. And all of these colored little dots, they're all systems. So if you like zoom in on the map, all the way over here, down, down, and yes, there we are. That's us, here on the map. This is the system that you start in, and all of these are systems around it. Now you would say like, holy shit, that's a lot to explore. Yeah. But it's all the fucking same, and actually what I have found in my exploration so far is that all of these systems have actually far less than your main system. And I was like, new systems. Let's go and see if there's like new loot, better enemies, other commodities, and nothing. And that's really the problem with this game. It seems to be really huge, and in certain ways it is really complex, but it's complex because things are not explained to you. Like, the tutorial is not great and it really does not address a lot of topics. Now of course it is a in development title, like early access and all of that, but still, you know, you're charging me 28 euros. I would like to get a bit of an idea how I need to play your game. Even if it's just like a button that says guide or explanation, like push this, it will tell me what things are. But I will go into more depth on that later. Another issue with the game is that the combat is really simple, and the power levels that you can obtain go up ridiculously fast. And right now what I am looking at here, this is my ship for example, is pretty much a top tier ship. I've not found anything that is capable of beating this thing. I mean, I got like two types of top tier ships personally right now. I've got this ship which is all about the guns, and I got one that's mostly about the missiles, and it has slightly less defenses than this thing has, but like the missiles have like 5 to 8 kilometers of range or something, so you just fire a salvo volley and you just wreck everything. So the combat in space is really easy, and the combat in person, as I like to call it, is also really easy. You know, you're just walking around here. I've got like a minigun, I've got an assault rifle, and well, yeah. I have not died in person combat since I got like some decent armor which I looted over here and some good guns. It's just like very easy. And the way you get your ships, you know, like a ship like this, you simply board them. And in order to board them, you just find one, you go alongside it, you match up your airlocks, you shoot them once, it unlocks their airlocks, and you run into their airlock and you go in there. Now of course if you've got a smaller ship you may not be able to take the damage, so what I just did was like, I'll make this ship, I put my bridge right next to the airlock, and I put all the armor and shields on that one side, because the ship is completely expendable, and I just board them. Because that's the other thing, like every time you die, you can just spawn a new ship. Infinite amount of times. No limitations to it. So there's no consequence to dying. In fact, there's no consequence to doing anything in this game. You can kill everybody and nobody seems to care. So yeah, in short, it is a really nice concept, but I think it needs quite a lot of work, because the combat is extremely boring. I did not even mention the trading yet, which is also really boring and really simple. Like, it looks very complex, but like it's fairly simple. Like, okay, this stuff sells higher to that sells higher to that, and sure, they only have so much and prices can differ between the stations, but even then you can make millions of credits without any fuss. So yeah, interesting concept, a lot of interesting ideas, but it needs a lot more time. And 28 euros is a way too big an ask for this game. So with that said, let's go and look into a few things in a bit more detail. So for starters, let's find ourselves a bit of combat. I just blew up this poor sucker over here, and I don't think we have anything close by. No, but there should be more ships in this nebula, which are at least somewhat powerful. Like I got this ship from this nebula, so I could run into like my a sister ship. You can see it flying right now. I'm in sort of travel mode, which has two different drives. You got this one, and now it's spooling up this special drive, and the special drive just goes straight through anything, which is really nice, but it's also really fast. Like this one is actually fairly slow, but I've had chips that were much faster, and then they just go like too fast, if that makes sense. Okay, there's somebody over there. Let's just steer the ship a bit towards it. You can barely turn, by the way, in this drive mode, but hey, we have a enemy ship over there, so let's just grab him. And now we can grab another one. I will show you some of the person combat by just boarding it. Oh, hitting the rock here. Please stop kissing the rock. Thank you. Did we take damage? Yes, we did. Annoying. I mean, it's not really gonna matter all that much, but let's put the repair drones out there. But yeah, combat in space. Start off with maneuvering. You can just fly with WASD, however, it's absolutely fucking annoying. Because turning is like, oh, I need to turn, and you just overturn and your ship just spins like another 200 degrees. And then you want to go the other way, and it's really annoying. So generally the way you want to turn your ship is just holding down the left mouse button, and you just go in a direction. This also aims your weapons in that direction, because the weapons just follow your mouse, even if you don't click it and hold it down. You fire weapons with the right mouse button. You can also strafe with Q and E. It's fairly slow. And we're like, oh, okay, that's all very interesting, but to be honest, very few exceptions. Like there's one ship that has like weapons only on one side. Maneuvering doesn't matter all that much. And generally, you know, you make your ship like put a lot of shields in the front and just keep your front face towards an enemy. Done. Mission accomplished. Yeah, we're starting to get in range of this ship. This is a tiered ship that's lower than mine. You can look by the icon. But this is still normally would be very potent ship, but my ship is just far better. Stop shooting my repair drones, you asshole. There you go. You can see here I'm just taking huge chunks out of this guy. And he's gonna do some damage to me as well. But this ship is so much better equipped. You can see here my shield's holding fairly well. I got a little bit of damage there, but it doesn't really matter. Now I'm just gonna chew through this ship. And there we go. I literally cleft the ship in half, and I know that the crew compartment is in that area. So I knew I could kill the crew that way. And killing the crew is generally what you want to do, because that just disables the ship completely. If you don't kill the crew, it can just take forever. So now the ship is disabled, I can activate my cargo scoop, which will slow me down, but again, it doesn't really matter. And there's still one cargo bay intact, so I can loot him. And there's also some stuff that he dropped out there. So all of these circles is loot, like this is probably credits or something, so I don't really care all that much. And there you go, you see I used my my A and D keys to turn, and I immediately overturned. Because like there is some conservation of momentum, but there's also drag, but the turns especially, like they take a long time to get going, and then they just go on forever, which is really quite annoying. Yeah, while the drones are fixing us up, let's take a look at what we looted. Got a couple of cargo bays next to my bridge, which tends to be useful. We got some dense exotic matter. Missing tooltip, poke the depths. All I know is I right click it and I get the credits. Yay, I suppose. Here we have some blueprints which I already know. I think I know most of the tier 2 blueprints. let's take a look on this side. There's another blueprint, and we got some commodities and some gear. And the gear in general is like really nice value. So the gear is a good way to get some credits early on. And once you get a little bit of credits, ouch, that was a lot of noise. Once you get a little bit of credits, you can just earn massive amounts of money by trading. And you can see here, I'm not getting any blueprints, I'm just getting some silly things like, oh yeah, this is so much funny, like we're so funny, but like, the problem is like, I could laugh about it, and I could laugh about the writing in the beginning, but I can't really anymore. Because like, at some point, the style of humor does get a little bit dull. And there's just too many other things wrong with the game, I feel. So that's a bit of a shame. But yeah, there are like a lot of fun writing nuggets in the game. It's just like at some point it's a little bit much. Oh come on, I did not even hit that. Stop complaining. Give me my speed. Here we go. Alright, I'm gonna find another ship here and we're gonna show you some of the boarding combat. Of course, you saw that like that ship was a tier lower than mine, but even if that ship had been the same tier as mine, he would not have been able to resist. Because I would just focus my fire on where the crews are and I would just win. Like, I have not lost a single space battle that I took that I would know that was like not completely suicidal. Like before I got this top tier ship, like of course there were some ships that could outmatch me. No doubt about it. But I've not taken a single fight that I was like, okay, this should be interesting that I would lost. The only time I would lost is like if I take a ship like that, and I would take it up against a ship like this, and of course you're going to lose. So now I'm looking, and it seems this... Let's see where his boarding things are. Okay. There are his airlocks. But I think he's just a little bit faster than us. So what I'm going to do is this. Oh, and we blew up his airlock. Sorry. Come on. I'm trying to board you, mate. I'm gonna shoot you. There we go. I've attached him by the airlock. And now I can walk over to my airlock and we can shoot the guys on that ship. While they are busy shooting me. There you go, he's dead. Easy. I can even grab the minigun, that makes it even more hilarious. Goodbye. And that's the combat in this game. You can see it's exceedingly simple. And I think that's really a shame, because you know, combat should be giving you a challenge. But like as soon as you get a little bit of gear there, it's just no challenge to the combat. And even before that, there's not really something that you can do to make like get an advantage out of most fights. So it's like you either win or you lose. Like you're either outgeared or you're overgeared them. And I think that's just a shame. Because there should be a lot more to the game, I think, than just like, oh yeah, you win because you got a better gear. Like winning just because you got a better gear is not a interesting thing to do. Got another blueprint, probably another stupid thing, there we go. It's like there are a couple things I don't have of this tier, but I can show you. This is the research menu. Like don't mistake, like this is just for getting the tech. But there are more blueprints in each tier than this. I've not seen any tier 3 stuff. I have also no idea where it would drop from. I've not encountered anything that would drop tier 3 stuff, so maybe it's when you go further on in the story. However, I can't go further in the story. If we look here at my journal, there are 2 quests that seem to be linked to the story, but neither of these quests I can progress right now, because I think they're bugged. Kill Darren, I got a waypoint on the map once, and there was nothing there. And the pirate hunting is asking me to shoot 20 pirates, which happen to be in the red zones on the map, mostly, which is this. I have been shooting up ships left, right, down and center everywhere in this area, and I've not gotten anything that was like a pirate kill. So, could just be me, but again, maybe if there's something else that I need to kill, the game should explain it, but I think to be fair, that's like, okay, you want me to kill pirates, then tell me what the pirates are. Because I've been killing a lot of stuff and apparently none of them are pirates. It's just bloody fucking annoying. And yeah, I want to get home and I really don't care about my loot, so let's just respawn. Oh, I've died, I've lost my ship. Oh no! Who cares? Here we go. I'm home. Go to logistics and I can spawn any of my ships that I want. But before we go and spawn one, let's just take a bit of a look at the ship editor. Now this is of course one of those game mechanics that some people will really be spending ages with, like just tweaking their ship, designing it just the way they want it. And I probably would be as well. However, you can only remove the stuff on the ship to which you have the blueprint. So if you don't have the blueprint to like this reactor, you can't remove it. If I like, oh, I got a blueprint to that, I can remove it. I've got blueprints, I can remove it. But say you come across something that when you're playing around, you don't have the blueprint yet, you can't remove it. Which is of course really, really annoying. I think in my case I pretty much got all of the blueprints now, so I can just remove everything here. I could just clear it out, but then oh no, wait. I don't have the blueprint to this. So I can never remove this thing. Maybe I would want to remove this thing, because maybe I want a missile factory in here and put a bunch of missile tubes on these sides. But I can't, because I can't remove this thing. It's just really, really annoying. Just put an option there, like give your player a warning, like if you remove this, you can't put it back in because you don't have the blueprint. Or alternatively, if I can hijack a ship, fly through my station, scrap and research the whole damn ship, I should also get the blueprints of all the things that are on the ship. So, kind of annoying. The other major annoying thing with all of this is like, nothing is really properly explained. There are some tooltips that show you something, but it's also like, what does it mean? How does it interact with things? I don't really know. Like, a field of energy surrounding your ship that absorbs incoming damage can be regenerated by shield emitters. Okay, but then if I go to my shield emitters, I'm not sure they're already here. Yeah, here as well. So a shield emitter warden uses energy to regenerate shield points. Pixels per second. Energy per second, energy per pixel. So I guess that is like, this is the efficiency, but pixels per second is how many shield blocks it regenerates every second. So do I need to assume that then one of these things, like I've put down, that is 1 pixel? I guess. I don't know. Okay, let's look at armor. Armor type B. Damage against this tile is calculated as follows. If damage is larger than 4, mat.max 4 incoming damage divided by 3 minus 65. It's a mathematical formula. And then it says me damage threshold is 4. Damage is reduced by 1/3. Damage is reduced by 65. What the fuck does it do? None of this gives me, a simple gamer that does not want to go into finding, like, going into mathematics or starting looking up wiki guides and all of those things. Like, just tell me what the fuck it does. I mean, if it does reduce damage, what sort of damage does it reduce? It doesn't tell you. It doesn't tell you anything. Like, if you look at the power generators, like, so it says here, production, heat waste, optimal heat production, max heat production, thermal capacity, and okay, then I also need some people are via dispersation rate 5 a second, so thermal cutoff point, but then what does it? It's like all of this stuff interacts with each other in certain ways. I just don't have a fucking clue how or what. Like, okay, I get a shield generator that replenishes my shields, but then does it matter how many blocks of shields I put here? Because it's like, okay, maybe if it only regenerates so many a second, but maybe I've got a really difficult mission, so if I just put here endless amount of shields here in front of my ship, make all of this shield, all the way down here. Does it just mean that, like, yeah, there's a shield there, But if it takes damage, it will take really long to be replaced. Probably, I guess, but then, okay, that's really easy. So I just put a lot of shield here. Like, fill this all up with shield, put my airlock here, and I can board any ship. Because it will take them enough time to blow through my shields. If I put my bridge here, my airlock here, I can just walk out before they can ever get through my shields and I board a ship. Even with a freaking shuttle. So, yeah. Sorry. Enough of a rant on that. I think it's absolutely horrible. I think that puts it simple. So this stuff really needs a tutorial. This stuff needs to be explained. Because if you don't explain this stuff, it just doesn't really work. And that's annoying. But yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, you can also change your guns. As long as you have the blueprints, of course. Oh yeah, there's also another thing, by the way. You can actually have a crew. I've unlocked 2 of them. And apparently you can put them on a station and they can be connected to guns and they're supposed to do something. I put them on stations with guns on them and they don't shoot. No idea how, no idea why. I've lost the care. I just don't use them. I just slave all the guns to my main bridge. Because that way I can control them and I can use them most effectively. The only thing they say is with crew of course, like, okay, if you die you can take over the body of one of your crew members. So if you die in a boarding action, you can take over one of the crew members, you can go back in again. But then the combat is so easy that once you got a little bit of gear, you just don't die. So who cares? Like it's all so bloody easy. Whether it's combat, whether it's the trading, like say we want to make some money. Okay, let's see who has some stock. Okay, these guys have some good stock of field coils. Let's go ahead and buy their field coils. And while we talk about that, let's talk about consequences of your actions. Because there are none. Like, okay, because death has no consequence to you. Losing your ship has no consequence to you. Except for like losing the cargo you have on your ship. Because that's lost, but anything you have on your person you just keep. So, okay. But like, I lost some cargo, who cares? Because I make so much money, I don't really give a damn. I can kill everybody because, well, nobody seems to care. Like, I've been to trade stations. I just walked there, grabbed my gun, killed all of the crew, and then just proceeded to buy from the station. Like, okay, so you don't care that I just killed everybody on your station? It's like, nope, we don't care. You can buy from us. Have fun. Come back again, please. Thank you. It's like, what is the purpose of this game? Like, the only thing I've found so far in this game is like, oh, I didn't want to hurt him. Ah, fine, we'll blow you up. Blow you up. And we blow you up. There we go. Oh, that's a lot of loot. Let's see what he is loot dropped. But yeah. There you go. We killed him. Is there going to be a consequence to doing that? Nope. Nobody's gonna care. I just blew up a ship right side outside the station. I can probably go in there and they will say, oh yes please, we'll like to deal with you. In fact, let's just put that theory to the test right now. And there we go. Now we're docked to the station. That ship, by the way, has been circling that station since the beginning of my gameplay. So take that for what you want. Another bug. So let's go in here. Trade with the station. Do you buy these? Oh, that's lovely. We can make some extra money because they're buying some assorted parts. They're not buying everything we have though. So what I'm going to do is put this in my personal stuff so I can exit the store and just throw this away because we don't care. And then we go back to the store and we say we buy all your field coils. So we can buy 880 field coins, then our cargo is full. It's gonna cost us 55,000, so let's say 56,000 credits. Let's keep that in mind. Okay, so now I've got the field coils. Now I need to find a place that will, you know, buy my field coils. So let's just find a place that will maybe, you know, want to buy field coils. Okay, so this place wants to buy field coils. It says here on the top right of my screen, you can see it just turns green. Maybe it's small, but it tells me here, like, if I'm selling them my field coils over there, I am earning 1,300 credits a slot. No idea what a slot is. I think it's a cargo-based slot, so I will assume that. Let's see if anybody's offering me more. Oh, and also let's just check if they're willing to buy enough. Okay, they're willing to buy 1,800 of them. And they're buying them at 240 credits each. And I think we paid, yeah, 70. Like, that's a really, really, really good margin. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous how much margin you make. Let's see if there's anybody else that wants to buy them. These guys just want to buy them, but it's roughly the same. And it's further away, so why would we bother? I think we're just gonna sell them to these goods factories guys here. There we go. Oh yeah, I did say, by the way, it doesn't matter. Like, I can just shoot these guys. Here you go. I just shot your guy. I am also going to shoot him. And I can still just trade with the station. No consequence to anything that you're doing. And anything that you are doing is really, really simple. So let's go and fly to that station and sell them our stuff to show you how easy it is to make the money. Let's zoom out, activate our travel drive, aim it in the right direction. Now we have to go through the whole acceleration procedure. I wish, by the way, there was just a button to turn the ultra fast drive off, because there are quite a few times when you're really close to your destination you don't want to use that drive, and you have to then slow down with your mouse just a little bit so you're not traveling at your top speed, because if you're at top speed you automatically activate this super speed drive. Right, stop here and then activate it again. Let's go to the station. Let's zoom in. And there you see there's another person that's trying to dock, and these ships, they tend to circle these stations for like forever. And then sometimes they finally dock, but that other ship, like the one I just blew up, as really, like, for the last 15 hours at least that I've been playing, that ship has been circling that same docking and being unable to dock, which is, I think, a little bit silly. Yeah, let's go in. The store I can see on the map is over on this side. PDD. Trade with the station. So, okay, we can sell them, and we're selling them for 212,000. So we almost quadrupled our investment. And this ship has a reasonable amount of cargo, but not an insane amount. Still, in one trip, like it took a couple of minutes, we earned quadruple of what we invested. So here you go, make some more credits. Like, oh, I've got 2.8 million credits. I don't know if that's a lot, but ever since I had some credits, I never really felt like, oh no, I'm out of credits, I need to research this thing. It's gonna cost me 100,000 credits to research. Okay, I probably looted more from the ship that I got the blueprint from than that research will cost me, so who cares? And that is the long-term conclusion, I think, of this game as it stands right now. I think it's really sad because I love the writing, I love the idea behind it. but I think the execution in this current early access stage is really just not good. There is no consequence to any of your action. The combat, whether it's person to person or in space, becomes ridiculously easy as soon as you get some gear at least. And even before that, like the ground combat, it's fairly easy, but all of the combat is just a sort of like a DPS versus defenses check. Like there's some maneuverability with ship combat, so you can like make sure they try to shoot some parts of your ship that will have perhaps thicker armor or where your shields are still intact. That said, I have not really found an AI that really demanded that from me as soon as you get these better ships. The trading is ridiculously simple and ridiculously profitable. And then the other bits is just like ship designing is like could be probably very interesting and really in depth, but you probably need a wiki to understand what the hell is going on. And that's another problem with the game. Like a lot of stuff is just not really explained to you, so a lot of these things you have to just figure out by doing it. Like I remember in the beginning of the game I died like 10 times. I was like, why am I dying all the time in space combat right now? I just don't understand. It was only after those 10 times that I finally figured out, like, when I went into my character, I just saw like everything around me was red. It's just like, this is red. And my health bar trying like, maybe there's no oxygen anymore because there's a hull breach. Only then I finally learned why I was dying all those times. It was like, okay, so I need to make sure that doesn't happen to me. But the game never tells you why you died. It's just like, oh, you died. And the game makes it like fun of it, like, oh, who cares, you know, you die. But like, I'd like to know why I die, because if you don't tell me, I cannot improve what I'm doing. I can't learn. But yeah, it makes me a little bit sad, because I kind of like this game, but I'm also like, yeah, after this video I am going to be uninstalling it at this point, because there is just no depth to it, and that's really sad. I think the only real depth to it that the game has right now probably will be this ship building stuff, but I think I can't be bothered with that, because the rest of the game is not interesting enough for me to want to spend maybe 2 hours designing my perfect ship, because it probably will take me a lot more than 2 hours. And then what does it do in gameplay wise? Because the ships I have already, which are mostly just stock ships where I slaved all the turrets to one place instead of having them over different places, and maybe I added some of the drive modules, like they do anything that I need from these ships in the game right now. So there's not really a need to change your ships around all that much. But yeah, I wish it was better right now, and I do hope they will improve it over time. I hope they really start adding some depth to this game, and also adding some more tutorials and guides in the game, just to make things a little bit easier. Because some things that really just should be explained, like, I'm not saying right now, because in early access you need to, like for the ship build, you need to explain everything, but you could like have a basic and an advanced ship customizer, because there are just certain things that you always want to add on. Just like these super speed travel drives, you kind of always want to have them, because they just make getting around the place so much easier. But none of these ships that you steal seem to standard come with them, or they come with them but they come with the smaller ones, which actually don't work, because if you get the small ones on a big ship, it activates and it actually slows you down. But yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling. It's already going on way too long. And just comes down to, I wish it was better, and I hope they're gonna make it better. So if you're like, you know, interested in what it has right now, and you're like, oh, I'm fine with these things, you know, I want a little bit of a game to play when I'm watching my YouTube stuff and things like that, which is what I use the game for, by all means, you know, go ahead. For most people, I would say, put it on your wish list. Keep an eye on it, you know. Check at it, you know, once every few months. See what the patches have been doing. See what the more recent reviews at the time are saying, like from people, like, you know, maybe there's like more stuff going on. And maybe you can say at some point, like, oh, okay, maybe the game is ready for a purchase. As it stands, I would just say, you know, as I said, leave it on the wish list. I cannot recommend it in its current state. yeah, I hope you found it all informative, and I hope to see you around next time. Farewell.